Good afternoon and a very warm welcome indeed to Orient Live. It's a beautiful bright day here in E10 at the Gotham Group Stadium, and it smiles all round on the O's players' faces as well. 4 wins on the bounce, looking to make it 5. Progressing in the cup as well. We are on a roll, and it's second bottom Burton who visit E10 today. They're joint bottom on 11 points with Shrewsbury as well. So on paper, it's looking like an exciting one for the O's. That man Dan Adjie been in fine form as well. Hopefully he can get back in and amongst the goals. For the O's today, I'm joined by Jabbo Abire and Joe Widdowson in the studio. But before we come here, let's hear from the main man himself. It's the gaffer, Richie Wellens.
We said earlier in the season when results maybe weren't going the way we wanted them to, that this was still an upbeat environment. Now we are getting the results. Have you noticed a bit of a difference?
Yeah, there's always going to be a little bit of an uplift, but it's you know, the players are good to work with. I think the dynamics between the players and the staff enjoy working with each other, so you don't try and let results influence what your demeanour or what your body language or your enthusiasm to come into training every day. So that's always been good, and that obviously gives you belief going forward that the results will turn. And I've always said the results will turn because the performance was too good to not get points. But I think defensively we've been really, really good, like all season, apart from probably the first 4 games where we conceded too many goals. But I think if you take the first 4 games out of there, we're probably about 3rd or 4th best defensive record in the league. 5 clean sheets in 8. So really good at our possession, and I think in the last few weeks we've been a real threat going forward. And again, confidence in young players is huge, and I'm looking at a group of players now that are confident and look like scoring a lot of goals every time they attack, really.
Burton had a tough start. Not changed manager, but have got a caretaker in charge at the moment. I think they've won 2 of their last 5.
Changed manager then. You're having a bit of a stinker
me,
yeah.
So Burton, I've got a caretaker in charge at the moment. I think they've won 2 of their last 5 in the league. What kind of tests are they going to put?
Yeah, a little bit of a different formation. I think they're good out of possession. We need to be bright. We might need to make the pitch a little bit bigger than what we have done in the last few games. But yeah, really good away win at Peterborough. Difficult place to go and win. So it's like any game in this league. If you do the basics right and you do the game plan and people are confident, you can win you can beat any team. But if you're not at it, then you can come unstuck and lose. But like I said, we've got loads of players in good form. Loads of players can't wait for the game. So I think it's more about us.
You can see obviously how hard everyone's working for each other. And yeah, there's just a real good buzz about the place, and it's brilliant to be here every day. Everyone's got a smile on their face, and you just want that to continue. So you have to work hard every day and make sure you put everything in, and whatever you put in, you'll always get the rewards at the end. So we want to perform, and we want to make the fans enjoy the football that we're playing. But ultimately, everyone's happy on a Monday morning when you win on a Saturday. So the results were always going to come if we carried on playing like we did. And yeah, I actually think we've turned it up a notch now, and you can see with the rotations and the sort of style of football that the gaffer's got us playing. Yeah, it's easy on the eye to watch, and it's really enjoyable to play. You can see it's a squad effort, and I think we're like a team of minions at the moment, working hard for each other. You can see we're running through brick walls, and yeah, just continuing that really, and the togetherness is there within the squad, and I think that comes hand in hand with the ability as well that we've got. So it's all clicking at the moment, and you can't get complacent because in football things change very quickly. So just looking forward to the weekend now, and yeah, we'll be running around like a team of minions on Saturday. The gaffer tells us about playing forward and being aggressive and on the front foot, and when you actually watch it, he's spot on really. And when you go and apply that on the pitch, it's amazing what happens, and yeah, the form has picked up, and we look like we're going to score goals, we look like we're not going to concede goals, and it's just about making sure that we practice that every day, so then it becomes second nature on a Saturday or a Tuesday night when you need to show it. I feel like I'm getting back to my best now, and I want to really kick on. It's not about what you've done in the past, it's about what you do now and in the future, and I think this is a big season for me to take the shirt and make sure I keep it. So just going to enjoy it every day, keep pushing myself, and and not only get to my best now, I want to improve and I want to kick on. So that's what I'm looking to do and help the team. Watched the video this morning and the tactics and stuff, and they're a good side. They've got good players in there with experience of playing football. I mean, Mason Bennett, he played for the first team at Derby when he was 16 years of old. He's been in the game now a long time, and they've got players like that who can hurt you. So we've got to be bang on it, and we've got to be aggressive, and yeah, we're just looking forward to try and building the momentum that we have. And yeah, I think it's about us tomorrow. We need to make sure we're at it and bring you the 3 points.
So here we go, not long to go until kick-off, and I'm joined here with Jabbo Beery and Joe Widdowson, and just a couple of happy voices there, Jabbo. The mood's good here in Eton at the moment.
Yeah, you can feel it, and especially in the gaffer's voice, and Jordan was even smirking a bit, that normally smile like that. So no, it's really good. It's a real good energy, a real good buzz, and just have to keep that momentum going and keep climbing that table.
Certainly do. 4 wins on the bounce, second bottom, they're level on points with bottom of the table. Burton Albion on paper today, Joey. It's a very, hopefully, an exciting game for the O's and plenty of goals.
Yeah, I think you've got to say it's a very winnable game. One that with the form that the guys are in at the moment, be looking to really attack, and go and try and pick up 3 points. I think we said it a few weeks ago. I think like this is the time of year that you really want to try and pick up that sort of momentum. Do you know what I mean? And put points on the board, and probably as good a time as any really to have a little string a few wins and get a run of form, because the games are going to come thick and fast now, and over the the festive period, I think where it's just hectic, and there's obviously there's a lot going on with games, but also it's a busy time for players and families anyway. It's good to just have that feel good feeling around, and it definitely feels like that's there at the moment.
And 3 points today could lift the O's into the top half of the table, and on his quest for 3 points, Richie has named an unchanged side from the one that won 2-0 against Wigan. So let's run through it very, very quickly. Starting in goal, it's 24 Josh Keeley. Across the back line on the right hand side of defence is Tom James, and on the other side, getting his first goal last Saturday, Jaden Sweeney. The captain today is Omar Beckles alongside Dan Happy in the heart of defence, with Jordan Brown and Dominic Ball in midfield, and then the 4 attacking players in front of them is Sonny Perkins, Jamie Donnelly and Ollie O'Neill, and then leading the line is Dan Adji. And on the bench for the O's is Noah Phillips, Jack Simpson, Jack Curry, Dialang Jayasimi, Ethan Galbraith, Darren Pratley and Charlie Kelman. Now we've got to talk about Jaden Sweeney, I think, Joey. First goal for the club. What a great moment it was. He's keeping Jack Curry out of the squad now, or out of the starting 11. Richie couldn't go with anyone else, could he, after last Saturday?
Yeah, I was really interested to see actually what he'd do this weekend. Obviously, Sweens came in and was brilliant last week, got his goal. And then Jack came back into the team during the week, so it was it was a toss-up, because I think Jack's been excellent. You have to say he's been really good since he's come in. He's barely put a foot wrong, but at the same time, Jaden's come in and he's really taken his opportunity last week. He's done great. So yeah, I think I think it's a really good, healthy competition now that we've got going on there. I think Jaden's hopefully going to be really boosted by his goal and his performance last week. And hopefully Jack as well sees it as good, a kind of reminder that his place in the team isn't certain, and Sweens is knocking on his door. So yeah, nice little battle, but I think it's good from the manager to kind of reward Sweens after his goal and performance last week. I think he deserves it.
And looking at the last 3 games on the whole, not only is it the 8 goals scored, but not a single goal conceded as well. That defensive side has been really stable, and with Jaden seamlessly kind of stepping in, it shows that we've got quite a settled defensive unit at the moment.
Yeah, I think the communication has been fantastic ever since, to a degree, Keeley came into goal. I think he's just integrated everyone very well. The confidence with him and the 2 centre halves has been fantastic, and anyone who's joined that now it's been a nice synergy. They've just got into it and they've kept the clean sheets and that momentum. And I think according to what Joe was saying there also, is that it's good that you are rewarded for your performances, and it sends a message to everyone in the squad that if you do well, you'll be rewarded. Doesn't matter if you've played 10 games, 2 games, 3 games. The shirts are there, and it keeps everyone on their toes, and it doesn't make you sort of go away from sort of like resting on your laurels that you got the shirt. He's shown to everyone, well, if you do the business, I'll keep you in, and it sends a right positive message and keeps everyone going. So I think it's really good by the gaffer.
Certainly does, and considering it's a completely unchanged side, two other players that have been rewarded for their good performances, Jordan Brown and Don Ball. They've built a little partnership in the heart of that midfield of late, and they're kind of complement each other's game quite nicely, and they're proving to be a winning formula.
Yeah, they do, and I think that's probably one part of the team that's changed quite a bit. There's, that central midfield area. He's tried different things in there. Personnel's changed for different reasons, but I quite like the look of those two in there. I think obviously Jordan's, he's a young player, but he's played quite a lot of games now, progressing and developing well. I think since he's come into the club to where he is now, he's come on leaps and bounds. And obviously Don Ball's at a different stage of his career, but he's got that steeliness, that experience. He's combative, and I think it's a nice balance you got between them, where sort of they get that kind of that dirty work done. They're both good at ball winning, and then obviously Jordan Brown's got that bit extra, I think, with his passing range and stuff. But they're complementing each other nicely in there at the moment.
And when you're playing bottom of the table, Jabbo, it's going to probably be a bit of a battle, and that side of the game in midfield is going to be really important today.
Yeah, definitely. You got to earn the right. I think we're in a good place at the moment, but we can't kind of take our eye off the prize, thinking we're just going to turn up and we're going to roll them over. I think you've got to earn the right, set the press from early with the right intentions, and having those two in the middle of the park really sends out that message.
It certainly does. And then let's talk about goals, and it's a lot more fun talking about goals, Joey. As I said, 8 goals in the last 3 games. On Tuesday night, Dan Adji's been scoring. Jay Seamy getting his first goal for the club last Saturday as well. Just when you start scoring goals, they seem to come a bit more frequently, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know what they've been doing on the training ground, but something's obviously clicked, because we've been saying, haven't we, quite often this season that we've just been missing that clinical edge, but they're starting to flow, and hopefully so it's a confidence thing, and it's spread throughout the team, because you're seeing different people pop up. Jay Seamy, great to see him get his first goal for the club. But yeah, we want our attacking players to be confident, to go out there and be able to express themselves and play freely. I think that's what you need as an attacker. Jabba will tell you better than me, but I think as a defender, you kind of know your job. You want to be solid, and it's a lot more difficult, I think, for attackers to to kind of go into the games with that confidence to do their things, to not feel kind of like restricted, and I think it affects them more than it does for a defender. So to see the guys scoring more goals is obviously good, and the fact that they're being shared around as well and different people are chipping in is great to see.
Confidence is the key word, isn't it, Jabba? And one man who's found his spark is Ollie O'Neill. He's really kind of stepped it up in the last handful of games, and he's a very, very good player, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he, when he first came in, he showed just how good how good he was, and his potential to go even beyond League One. And then the start of the season, you've seen glimpses, but he just hadn't kind of pieced together game after game. But in recent games now, he's really turning the screw. He's putting those performances, he's scoring those goals that we know he's capable of. And and it just adds to another potent attack, and it adds another valuable asset up front, which he's now getting into his groove, smiling, got the confidence back. So hopefully he can continue doing that.
And the biggest compliment you can probably pay to those attacking players, the 3 in behind the striker, and even the 2 midfielders, is they're keeping Ethan Galbraith out of the squad. It's probably one of the most gifted players in the squad, and he's struggling to get a look in that, but it's healthy competition, isn't it?
That's the key word, Ollie. I think that's it's healthy. Do you know what I mean? And I think one thing you can always say about Richie since he's come in is that he won't just stick religiously with certain names, and he will reward players based on their form and how they're doing, and it's good because every player knows that they've got an opportunity. So even if they are at the team, like, look, we know Ethan will get back in at some point. He's too good a player not to be involved. But it just says to the the likes of Ollie O'Neill, Jay Seamy, Donley, and the like, that if you're playing well, if you produce, you will play. So and that's what you need. It creates that healthy competition. Boys know that they will be involved and they will get their opportunities.
And one man who'll never be dropped. He's been key. 3 goals in the last 3 games. A couple of assists in there as well. His numbers are high. Everything goes through Dan Adji. Yeah,
he's cooking. He really is. I mean, and playing that central role as well has just been pivotal for what we've been doing of late. And he's just so unassuming sometimes. You think, oh, has he got away? And they've barged him. His balance, his poise. He's just been mind blowing of late. And I'm glad to see him just staying clear of injuries. So I know once he gets going and once he gets a consecutive run of games, he can produce what he's producing now. So hopefully just stays injury free. But I mean, when he's playing the way he's playing, he is our attack, and he brings everyone else together as well. It's been fantastic.
Those Burton defenders, Dan Adji will be the one that they're probably pretty scared of going up against today. As a defender, like, how do you even begin to deal with someone like that? He looks like he terrorises the fullbacks.
Yeah, I think, you know, he's recent weeks. I think Dan's really kind of emerged as like the main man, like he's kind of leading our attack and, you know, taking that responsibility on his shoulders, which is good to see because we all know how good of a player he is. But I think, yeah, you know, in terms of trying to stop him, it's tough because he is, like Jabbo said there, he's unpredictable. He looks a bit unorthodox at times. Like, you know, he'll one thing I noticed about him is he will dribble with both feet, which I think is really unusual for an attacking player. Like, and he'll go both ways. He'll happily, you know, take shots left foot, right foot. You know, we know he's got that explosive pace. He's got that deceptive strength where he can bounce off defenders as well. And yeah, I think, you know, obviously he's been leading the line of late. But we know how versatile he can be. He can do a job on the left, on the right. You know, he can kind of play just about anywhere. But I think, you know, now the goals are starting to come. I think we're really starting to see the best of him. And you know, perhaps, I don't know, is his best position a centre forward? I'm not sure. I quite look of him when he's coming off the right hand side. But he seems to just be a threat and pose problems wherever he plays. So, you know, like Jabbo said, I think the main thing, we just got to pray that he stays sort of injury free and keeps building on these performances of late.
So there's just under 10 minutes to go until kick-off, and of course don't forget it is an early one. It's 12:30 that we're kicking off. It's live on Sky Sports Plus, but if you're watching along live on our YouTube, then you can also follow along live with us on Orient Live. If you're a UK fan, you can pick up an audio pass, and international fans, you can watch along with us here for just £10. Head over to the Match Centre on the club website to pick up your streaming or audio pass for that one. Right then, as kick-off is fast approaching, let's take a look at the visiting side as Burton Albion are looking to pick up some much needed points. Starting in goal for them is Max Crocombe. Across the back line is Jason Saraha, Ryan Sweeney, Terence Van Kooten, Udoka Godwin Malif. And then moving into midfield is Kieran Gilligan alongside Elliot Watt. And playing the very similar formation to us, the three just behind the striker is Ben Whitfield, Mason Bennett and Thomas Kalinaskas. And leading the line is Ruman Burrell. And on the bench for the Brewers is Harry Stead, Dylan Williams, Jack Armour, Alex Bannon, Charlie Webster, Danilo Orsi Didomo and Billy Bowden. So that's how the away team are lining up. They're in a bit of a tricky position at the moment, Burton. Today's, and as we said, for us, now's an important time to pick up points. It's a bit of a crunch time for them as well, you'd say.
Yeah, it's an important game for them. You know, obviously every game is they're at the bottom. You know, they're scrapping and fighting, and you know we know that there's. It's hard to say there's any easy games. I think, you know, as Richie always says time and time again, we got to make sure that we're right. You know, doing the basics well, tracking runners. You know, strong, organised from set plays. Do you know what I mean? Not giving them any chance to get a foothold or do you know what I mean? Any sort of kind of goal or anything out of the game, you know, try and limit their opportunities. But I think, you know, the form that we're in at the moment, it is all about us. And I think Richard will be saying, look, you know, start fast, get on the front foot, really sort of take the game to them early on, and you can kind of maybe put these away early on. But everything has to be right, you know, there can't be any complacency.
As much as they will be scrapping, if you look at their form, 16 goals scored in 18 matches, 11 points. Yeah, they brought in a lot of players in the summer, and it just doesn't seem to have clicked, does it?
No, it hasn't, and you know, and we have to just make them pay for that. You know, ultimately their stats don't look good. They failed to score in 5 of the last 7 games. They've lost 11 last night, drawn 5, lost I think, and won 2. So I mean, they're there for the taking. But we have to be prepared. We have to, because there's no easy games. We have to start on the front foot, like Joey said. Give them no opportunity, and give them any hope to cling on to, and then we should, with the quality we have and the way we're playing, we should just dismantle them. But we have to do the right things first.
We've got some footage here, Joe, of some of the goals they've conceded in recent games. It's not pretty viewing. Let's take a look at it now. If you're an Orient attacker, you're looking at this, doing your prep in the week. You're probably licking your lips.
Yeah, I think you will be. I think, like, you know, they don't really challenge at first phase, and they're not really let a second phase, and you know, seeing the goals here, and I know Max as well, so he'll be gutted with the way things are going at the moment. But you know, it's just not alert. They got bright shirts, but they don't seem as bright as the shirts are. So I just think, you know, they're there for the taking. You know, as long as we're positive in front of goal, and taking our shots as we are, I think we can be in for a fruitful day.
This is it, Joey. We've got to get up, go out and get at them, haven't we?
Yeah, I think just looking at some of these goals here, it all looks very messy, disorganised and a bit desperate at times. And I just, it looks like there's, a lack of kind of leadership there at the back. There's, people are looking at each other, arms in the air, and you can just tell that there's a lot of weaknesses there to try and expose today.
I didn't think that video was ever going to end. It kept going, the amount of goals they conceded. Well, hopefully, it's some goals in store for the O's. Very nearly time for kick-off. So let's hand over to our match commentary team of Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock.